Can you bust some myths for me? Because I think I've had some pretty outlandish things asked me in the clinic of CBD, and I think talking to your point about the miracle panacea, I'm actually at the point where I'm actually somewhat entertaining it, because until I've researched it, I don't want to just say, no, you're just losing it. You can't grow rockets out of your feet and fly to the moon. I mean, it might be possible, but can you bust some of the myths that maybe we haven't quite got there yet, or are there things that we need to know just to keep that level of objectivity, perhaps?
Certainly. So I've had this question more than once.
Okay.
About alopecia but more so really just male pattern baldness. Does CBD cure that? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Okay. That's a pretty long bow, and one of my patients
there is
was
no reason to support that. But if somebody is using CBD and they're telling me that their hair is growing back,
well, this is the
but I think it's true and unrelated. And then another thing, and this is actually pretty scary and unethical in my opinion, is you see, especially on social media, things like, cannabis cures cancer.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. We do not have the evidence to say that. We don't understand it well enough at all. There's some interesting and promising studies done in vitro with human cancer cells. Whether that translates into the human body, we don't know. We don't know this is not a substitute for proven medications that your oncologist is, and that you want to treat. I mean, bodily autonomy is very important, but, if somebody says, don't take your chemo, just take CBD, that really scares me.
Yeah.
And it's really not ethical, and there's not research to back that up. We're a long way away from that. We're starting to explore it, and I don't mean eco-fiber, just mean the researchers that I've heard of. But, this is something that could help make that experience potentially less horrific for you. It could help you sleep better, feel less anxious, could help with pain, could help with nausea and appetite. But I do worry when people try to act that this is the panacea and you don't need anything else, because you do. Also, yes, great for pain relief, but if you, got your arm cut off in an accident, CBD is not going to cut it.
It's not going to stitch it back up.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes.
Positive? How about if I break my leg? Can I maybe dermally heal my leg with CBD?
No. Yeah,
okay.
You cannot. So, I mean, I had appendicitis a couple of years ago, and that was a time where morphine was welcome.
Yes, indeed, right. And
after surgery, I used CBD instead, but acutely, there's a time and place for these stronger pain.
I completely agree. And I think one of the interesting things I find about CBD, and I think I've drawn from this conversation, so I appreciate it, is that one of the older, lesser used category of herbal medicine was what we call the tonic herbs. And they were there. You had different tonics, and a lot of people don't know that St. John's wort was actually what we call the nervous tonic. It never had a connotation with, an SSRI mechanism or anything along those lines. If someone came in with a lot on their mind, St. John's wort as a tonic would release the tension of the head. And it kind of put you on a bit of a cloud, maybe elevated your mood, or a thymoleptic kind of action. And I think what I've gotten out of today is that moving away from the panacea, we may have actually found a potential tonic for something where if you're feeling a little bit out of balance, we may find that CBD is something that can help you regain that balance, just as you touched on with the homeostatic element. Do you think that's a fair comment, or is it more that I'm now searching for a different way to describe a panacea and semantically looking to still keep my miracle alive?
No, I think that's accurate. Just cautious optimism is always good.
I like it. Yep.
Although two areas that we didn't talk about that I think will be more than this tonic, one, we certainly know epilepsy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, of course.
That is really a lifesaver.
It started the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And two, what we're seeing is that CBD, especially cannabinoids, but particularly CBD, are not just neuroprotective. They may have some neuroregenerative potential.
Right.
So the research in animals is pretty much there, but we don't have it in humans. But what I want to see is this a possible treatment for degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS? And we're looking at dementia patients, but is it just something that can slow mild cognitive decline with aging and potentially prevent these over time and maybe even reverse some of the damage? And we're definitely a ways away from really demonstrating that with volumetric studies and functional MRIs, but we're getting there. We've got some great colleagues and some plans to do so, and I think that is a very black and white use.
Do they have a sense of the mechanism as yet? Is it are there elements of BDNF or other areas of hypothalamic atrophy? Is there any ideas yet as where that might be coming from?
It seems to decrease degenerating neurons. The spread of that, and that even after hypoxic ischemia, so it can stop the perfusion of an injury acutely.
Right.
But also just tends to promote regeneration of neurons. There's some debate on the mechanism there, and it's a lot about oxidative potential and modulating that into the right balance.
Yeah.
But
still early days.
It is early days, and to be honest, there's some other researchers who are just fascinating neuroscientists and vascular specialists who would probably argue with me, no, we really know what this is, but I can't speak to it as well.